Hello my students. Today our topic is parental care and parent-offspring conflict. In this lesson we will have a look on the types of parental care or the kinds of parental care in animals and how this parental care may lead to parent-offspring conflict. So, in very brief, this lesson will give us the understanding that there is a cost and benefit. These two factors are related in parental care. And due to the involvement of these two factors, these are cost and benefits, sometimes these two factors are in balanced form and sometimes imbalanced form. So in that case, how the parent offspring conflict takes place, that also we will understand in this lesson. In the past few lessons, we have learned about the sexual selections, mating, and the reproductive success. So we can summarize all these what we have learned in this small slide. Here you can see the male and female, when they are there, definitely there is a mate selection. The selection of mate, or you can say sexual selection. This will lead to the mating of the animals through different mating systems. These mating systems are some of the strategies they follow to avoid the competition. Then you can find that reproduction. This reproduction leads to offspring. So the parents now have offsprings. Now the question is, what is next? After the offsprings, what is next? Yes, when there are offsprings, these offsprings to care for. Now the question is, what are the behavioral and evolutionary rules for raising offsprings? As you know that every act that the animals exhibit, these acts have some kind of evolutionary rules, evolutionary contribution, significance. So what is the contribution or significance of raising offsprings? Yes, the phenomenon is called parental care, and parental care in one way is to ensure the survival of the offspring so that the future generation may continue through reproductive success. Having offspring means there is an assurance that a reproductive success may take place in future, and that ensures, that confirms the continuation of the race. That means the evolutionary process continues. So in a very short, you can say any behavior towards offspring that increases the chances of the offspring survival at the cost of the parent's ability to invest in other offspring. So this definition is very tricky. You can see that this is behavior towards offspring that increases the chances of the offspring survival. So parents generally do some investment which will help the offspring to survive, their chances of survive. But at a time when the parents are investing on one offsprings or two offsprings, the cost will be reduced for the third or fourth offsprings, means at the cost of the parents' ability to invest in other offsprings. So this is what called parental care, or in a very professional way you can say parental investment. So what includes in parental care? You may find a long list. In case of birds, say for example construction of nest or maintenance of the nest, or sometimes keeping the eggs in safe places, chasing away the predators, removal of dead disease eggs, and many more things you may find in the offspring. This is not the exhaustive list, this is just examples. So there is a long list with different activities from animal to animal are there which are included in the parental care. And remember, the overall objective is to ensure the survival of the offspring so that it can survive and continue the mating. This parental care has some relationship with the mating systems. Say for example, in case of monogamy, you can find both male and female participate in rearing the young ones. So here the male and females, you can say they contribute 50-50, and in that case the investment from the both parents come equally, and there is no pressure on each of them. So monogamy is the best method of parental care. Here again you can say polygyny, where one male, several females are there, and generally what happens, depending on the species, sometimes the male takes the care, which is very common in polygyny, males take care, and in many cases the females, after laying eggs, they take care of the young ones, and the male leaves the female. So this is what in case of polygyny. So here any one partner, either male in some cases or female in other cases, contribute for parenting. Like monogamy, there is no contribution of 50-50 from each parent. Similarly, in case of polyandry, one female, several males. So here usually the male provides care, because the female after mating and laying eggs leaves the male and goes to another male. So this is here the male takes care of the young ones. And here in case of polygynandry, which is promiscuous, either sex could provide parental care like monogamy, but in this case many males may mate with many females, or many females may mate with many males. So here any one sex, either male or female, may take care of the young ones. So why there are different parenting nature in case of animals, say for example monogamy, polygyny, etc. The first objective of parenting, best parenting way, is that to ensure the survival of the offsprings, and second is that to make them reproductively fit, or to give them a fitness for reproductive success. And the third one is, when these two goals are achieved, the third one is that they get the evolutionary advantage. So this is the overall goal of parental care. But parental care is not always advantageous. It has some disadvantages also. The first disadvantage is that it is very expensive. When there is a parental care, one of the parents has to stay with the young ones. What happens when the male or female stays with the young ones? It has to stay close to the young ones. It cannot go away. It cannot go far from the nest or the place where the young ones are there. So its mobility is limited. Then at the expense of the own survival rate, sometimes it has to it has to take care the young ones. It cannot take food properly, or sometimes defending the young ones, it dies. So there are many issues may come while the parent that decides to stay with the young one. So at the expense of its own survival rate, it gives the parental care to the young ones. And foraging for food, when the food is collected and for feeding, the maximum share goes to the offspring. And when the young ones are there, it attracts predators, which is the biggest challenge for the parents that decides to stay with the young ones. And another very great disadvantage is that it limits reproduction. It means when there are young ones, it cannot go for reproduction again. It has to wait. When young ones grow and they can leave the nest and they can take food by themselves, then only the parent can go for the next reproduction. So it limits the reproduction. David Lake in 1954 gave one hypothesis. He states that the clutch size, in case of birds, the clutch size of each species of bird has been adapted by natural selection to correspond with the largest number of young for which the parents can on average provide enough food. So the clutch size, it may be 1 member, 2 member, 3 member, 4 member, or any number, but this number is decided by the capacity of the parents to provide food. If the parents can provide food for 2 siblings or 2 offsprings, the clutch size is only 2. If they can provide for 4, the clutch size is only 4. So that is what the total number of members in a family is decided with the by the capacity of by the ability of the animals to parents to provide food. Here you can see the clutch size probability of survival for individual offspring. It goes down when this size clutch size is increased or the family size is increased, and there is a optimum size it can accommodate, the parents can accommodate, parents can provide food equally, beyond which the number decreases. So if we consider a particular bird species or animal species, what is the total number of family in that group, we have to see what is the supportive member size or clutch size, and we'll get an optimum number. So this is the maximum capacity that species can accommodate for each offsprings. So there is a question of cost and benefit of parental care, beyond which the parents cannot afford the young ones, and the survival rate goes down. You can remember this picture. This is the maximum size where up to which the survival rate is very satisfactory, but beyond which the survival rate goes down. So the cost is high in case of this particular area compared to this area. So when the cost benefit, these two factors are there, the parental care has to be in balanced form. If there is a loss of balance, then the total care goes off and there is a loss. And this is the main root of conflict. My students, in the next few slides, I will tell you how the conflicts are generated when the cost-benefit balance goes off. So, before going to the conflict, let us have one example, this barnacles. What the barnacles they follow, they totally switch off their parental care mode. So they never go for parental care. And whatever the offsprings, the number of offsprings they can produce, these offsprings are left freely, left open in the water, and they grow by themselves. So there is no parental care. In this case, there is no loss, no investment. So the question is, When there is a parental care, there is a calculation or equation of cost and investment and loss and gain. So this is how decision to offer parental care depends on whether such care will increase the caregiver's lifetime reproductive success. What does it mean? Means if one is giving parental care, whether this parental care will enhance the reproductive success of the parents or not, lifetime reproductive success or not. Then again, the greater investment in individual young necessarily reduces the number of young that can be produced. When the investment is more on the young ones which are being cared for, it reduces the chances of investment for the new young ones which are to be produced. Consequently, species choose between producing many small uncared for young or fewer larger cared for young. So this is the technique, that they may choose between producing many or small uncared for young. That barnacle we have seen, that it produces a large number of offsprings and leaves uncared. So they produce a large number and leaves uncared. But when there are few larger, these are to be cared for, and that is the difference. They choose the species choose which way to go. So in parental care, if it enhances the survival and growth of young enough to compensate for the reduction in young produced, then so if parental care enhances survival and growth of young enough to compensate for the reduction in young produced, then we would expect parental care to evolve. The present young generation, or those are surviving young ones, if their investment is there and they can compensate this investment, they can give a return to the parents, the reproductive success, then the parents will decide that their parental care they may continue. And if you look at the animals, the vertebrates, you will find that the parental care is unequally distributed among them, where the lower vertebrates, say for example fishes, they have low parental care than the higher vertebrates. Here you can see the fishes, they have around 20% of parental care, means 20% fish species have parental care. And if you go to amphibians, you may find around 60% of species they exhibit parental care, and their paternal and maternal contribution for parental care is 50-50 percentage. And in case of birds, you may see 80% parental care, which is mostly biparental. And in case of mammals or mammals like human, it is also 80%, which is biparental or maternal. So parental care in organisms that can give it may significantly enhance the prospects of the offspring surviving to adulthood. That is what the objective of the parental care, one of the outcome of the parental care. Then extra investment comes at a cost, though, as it may reduce the parents' prospects of surviving over time. So if there is some additional investment, it comes at a cost of the parents' survival or their reproductive capacity in future. Here comes the parent offspring conflict. When the demand goes above that particular level at which the expenses are more than the investment, more than the benefit, there comes the conflict. So here you can read these lines. In many species, parents invest huge quantities of resources in their offsprings. So why? Initially, both parents and offsprings agree that investment in the offspring is worthwhile because it enhances the offspring's prospects to survive and reproduce. The offsprings may survive, they get adulthood, and they will reproduce. This reproduction is an assurance for the continuity of the race or the species. So this is what the parents and offspring they agree. However, you can see in case of parents, they share only 50% of their genes with the offspring, and this sharing of genes, that is 50%, this is equally related to all offsprings the parents have. It means if the parents have two offsprings, they share 50% to the first and 50% to the second, whereas the offspring is 100% related to itself. It never shares any gene with the parents, but it shares 50% of genes with the full siblings, its brother and sisters, or sometimes the half siblings, means its cousins, niece, etc. So Robert Trevor predicted that this should lead to parent-offspring conflict because the sharing is unequal. Parents share 50%, but the offspring hardly share a single person with their parents. They share among the full siblings. So this is what the conflict over the amount of food provisions to young. At some point, a parent will prefer to reserve investment for future offspring rather than investing in the current one. This is the reason that when the parents start preserving the food or the investment for the future offspring, because the parents have to go for other reproductive efforts, there the parents offspring conflict appears, because the offsprings, those are current offsprings, they disagree with this decision. So in a very brief form, you can say the parent's investment is any investment in an offspring that increases its chances of survival and reproduction. And this increment or increase of chances of survival and reproduction is at the expense of the parent's ability to invest in other offsprings. So had these offsprings been not there, the parents could have spent the same investment to other offsprings. So this is what called parental investment. This graph gives you a look or a summary of how the female and male they contribute they invest during the parental care. Here you can see the male contributes for maintenance of the territory, but females, their investment comes once they mate or they lay their eggs. So they give maximum investment for mating and egg laying, then incubation, then it increases further during feeding and fledging. In case of birds, it is called fledging. But whereas those males, you can see there it is slowly reducing, but many times during feeding and fledging they also help their young ones. However, the temptation to desert, the intention to desert is maximum in case of male. From the beginning, the male may have intention to desert the female and the siblings. In an experiment, it was found that the begging rate, that when the parents carry the food and tries to feed the young ones begged for the food to the parents, opening their mouth. So when the female is there feeding the young ones, this begging rate is very low. But when male is there, this rate goes very high. What does it mean? It means the parental investment by the female is maximum than the male. So here comes the graphical presentation of parent-offspring conflict. In this graph, you can see on the y-axis the BC ratio is there. BC means B means benefit, C means cost. If this ratio is bigger, the parents the benefit are benefited, and if this is smaller, the parents are not benefited. The cost is very high. The cost goes very high. So this is the progression of time. With the progression of time, the benefit, which is almost high at the beginning, it comes down because the siblings are there. The siblings are there, and the parents try to invest on the siblings, and this cost ratio comes down slowly. And at a time, it comes below 1, which is around 0.75. So when it is 0.75, there's a conflict starts with the offspring, because from this point the parents try to withdraw the benefits, the investments, because they cannot afford the very high cost. They cannot afford that the cost goes very high and this ratio becomes very small. So when it is around this much, the parents try to stop the benefits. Parents try to stop the benefits they are giving to the offsprings, and that is why this period is very crucial for the parent and offspring. This is called weaning period. Weaning, W-E-A-N-I-N-G, weaning period. So at this period, if the offspring can compensate, this relationship goes up, or otherwise the relationship goes very worse. So my students, you can see this axis is the y-axis, and on this axis the B by C, the benefit by cost ratios are plotted, and this x-axis we are plotting time, progression of time. So with the progression of time, this B by C ratio comes down, it reduces. When there is no offsprings, the B by C is very high, means the investment, there is no investment, whatever there, it is all resources are belong to the parents, so there is no cost. But once the offsprings are there and it progresses with the time, the B by C ratio comes down, and at a time it comes to 1. This is the position of 1, and this is the position of 1. So at this point, the investment of the parents becomes saturated. So this saturation point is 1. This is B by C ratio is 1 at this point. So if it goes further, say for example half, now this point is half. At this moment, the parents tries to withdraw the investment from the offsprings, and this is the situation when the resources of the parents are limited. So in this case, this particular time from 1 to half, this period is the period of conflict, and this is called the weaning period. Weaning period. And if the parents or offsprings have no alternative adjustment, the conflict appears clearly at this point. This is what the point of conflict of parents and offsprings. So sometimes what happens, this B by C ratio, when it is 0.5, the parents and offspring conflicts appears. But many times what happens, these offsprings, they stop receiving any kind of benefit from the parents, so they become independent or self-dependent. At that moment, what happens, the parents tries to spend on or invest on the half siblings. So these are the half siblings. This is the point where the investment for the offsprings are stopped, and when the offspring stop receiving the investment from the parents can extend the investment little longer. That means up to 1 by 4. So at this moment it goes up to the half siblings. So they can invest some of the investment. They can share some of the investment with the half siblings. So it runs up to 0.25 or 1 by 4. This is what the investment the parents can extend. And but here also at this moment also this particular period is the conflict, and this period for the offsprings, and this period up to this period is for the half siblings.